The race session is at Bridgehampton in Bridgehampton, USA. Kelver is P1. Race start. Kelver lost P1 to Everlasting Apex. King Chu 22 is third. King Chu 22 is now P5. Kelver in turn 3, Millstone turn is second. J Bougie in Millstone straight is third. Kelver in Echo Valley is P2. J Bougie in turn 6 is P3. Kelver in turn 10-11, light bulb is P2. J Bougie is P3. Kelver in turn 13, Aaron's turn is second. J Bougie is third. Kelver is second, 0.4 behind Everlasting Apex. J Bougie in turn 3, Millstone turn is third, 0.4 behind Kelver. Kelver in turn 4, Colisante corner is P2, 0.4 ahead of J Bougie. J Bougie in turn 5 on lap 2 is third, 0.4 behind Kelver. Kelver in turn 7, Valley of the Lefts is P2, 0.3 ahead of J Bougie. J Bougie is third, 0.3 behind Kelver. Kelver is second, 0.4 behind Everlasting Apex. J Bougie is sixth, 0.2 behind Scrotal Fungus. J Bougie passed Scrotal Fungus for fifth. Kelver is P2, 0.4 behind Everlasting Apex. Scrotal Fungus is 6th, 0.2 ahead of Lendio. Kelver in turn 3, Millstone turn is P2, 0.4 behind Everlasting Apex. Anonymous 93 is P3, 1.0 behind Kelver. Kelver in turn 5 is second, 0.5 behind Everlasting Apex. Anonymous 93 is P3, 0.5 behind Kelver. Kelver in turn 9, Valley of the Lefts is second, 0.5 behind Everlasting Apex. Anonymous 93 in turn 10-11, light bulb is P3, 0.4 behind Kelver. Kelver in East Straight is P2, best lap is a 1:35.321, 0.054 off the fastest lap. Anonymous 93 in turn 13, Aaron's turn is third, 0.3 behind Kelver. Kelriz P2, 0.3 ahead of Anonymous 93. Anonymous 93 in turn 2, Hansjin turn is third, 0.3 behind Keller. Kelrin Millstone Straight is second, 0.3 behind Everlasting Apex. Anonymous 93 in turn 4, Colisante Corner is third, 0.4 behind Keller. Keller is second, 0.4 behind Everlasting Apex. Anonymous 93 in turn 8, Valley of the Lefts is P3, 0.4 behind Keller. Keller in turn 10-11, Light Bulb is P2, 0.3 ahead of Anonymous 93. Anonymous 93 was 0.9 faster last lap. Anonymous 93 is third, 0.4 behind Keller. Anonymous 93 was 0.9 faster last lap. Keller is P2. Anonymous 93 is third. Keller in turn 1, Hansjin turn is P2, 0.3 behind Everlasting Apex. Anonymous 93 in turn 3, Millstone turn is P3, 0.3 behind Keller. Keller is P2, 0.3 ahead of Anonymous 93. Anonymous 93 in Echo Valley is third, 0.5 behind Keller. Keller is second, 0.3 behind Everlasting Apex. Anonymous 93 in turn 9, Valley of the Lefts is third, 0.4 behind Keller. Keller in turn 10-11, Light Bulb is P2, 0.4 behind Everlasting Apex. Bot Fizzards exiting pits. Anonymous 93 is third. Best lap is a 134.809. Bot Dishonored Fox exiting pits. Keller in turn 13, Arendt's turn is P2, 0.3 ahead of Anonymous 93. Anonymous 93 is P3, 0.4 behind Keller. Keller on lap 6 is P2, 0.3 ahead of Anonymous 93. Anonymous 93 in turn 3, Millstone turn is third, 0.6 behind Keller. Keller in turn 4, Colisante Corner is second, 0.4 behind Everlasting Apex. Anonymous 93 in turn 5 is P3, 0.5 behind Keller. Keller in turn 7, Valley of the Lefts is P2. Anonymous 93 on lap 6 is third, 0.3 behind Keller. Scrotal Fungus exiting pits. Bot Aussie W2002 exiting pits. Keller is P2, 0.3 ahead of Anonymous 93. Bot Henfatig exiting pits. Anonymous 93 in turn 13, Arendt's turn is third, 0.3 behind Keller. Keller is P2, 0.3 behind Everlasting Apex. Anonymous 93 in turn 1, Hansjin turn is P3, 0.5 behind Kaller. Kelrin turn 3, Millstone turn is P2, 0.3 ahead of Anonymous 93. Anonymous 93 is P3, 0.3 behind Kaller. Kaller is second, 0.4 behind Everlasting Apex. Anonymous 93 is third, 0.3 behind Kaller. Keller in turn 9, Valley of the Lefts is P2, 0.3 ahead of Anonymous 93. Battery Kaharaji exiting pits. J Bougie in turn 10-11, Light Bulb is P5, 0.3 behind Kingshu 22. J Bougie passed Kingshu 22 for P4. Keller in turn 12 is P2. J Bougie in turn 13, Arendt's turn is 4, 0.8 ahead of Kingshu 22. Keller on lap 8 is P2, 0.6 behind Everlasting Apex. J Bougie in turn 2, Hansjin turn is 4, 0.8 behind Anonymous 93. Keller in Millstone Straight is second, 0.7 behind Everlasting Apex. Lenbu in turn 4, Polisante Corner is 6, 0.4 ahead of Iker 77. Iker 77 in turn 5 is P7, 0.3 behind Lenbu. Lenbu is P6, 0.4 ahead of Iker 77. Iker 77 in turn 9, Valley of the Lefts is P7, 0.3 behind Lenbu. Batak Bate exiting pits. Lenbu in turn 10-11, Light Bulb is P6, 0.4 ahead of Iker 77. Anonymous 93 in turn 13, Arendt's turn is P3, 0.9 behind Keller. Keller was 3.0 faster last lap. Lenbu is P6, 0.3 ahead of Iker 77. Anonymous 93 in turn 1, Hansjin turn is P3, 0.6 behind Keller. Iker 77 in turn 2, Hansjin turn is 6, 0.9 behind Kingshu 22. Anonymous 93 in turn 4, Polisante Corner is P3, best lap is a 1:34.410. Iker 77 in turn 4, Polisante Corner is P6, 0.5 behind Kingshu 22. Keller is second, 0.3 ahead of Anonymous 93. Lenbu exiting pits. Anonymous 93 in turn 9, Valley of the Lefts is P3, 0.3 behind Keller. Iker 77 in turn 10-11, Light Bulb is 6th. Best lap is a 1:35.443. 1.033 off the fastest lap. Dat Mumbles in turn 9, Valley of the Lefts is 9th, 0.3 behind Globally Slow. Iker 77 is 6th. Bot Dishonored Fox entering the pits is P30. J Bougie is 3rd, 0.9 behind Keller. Iker 77 in turn 1, Hansjin turn is 6th, 0.2 behind King Shu 22. Bot Fizzarts exiting pits. J Bougie in Millstone Straight is third, 0.8 behind Kel. Iker 77 in turn 4, Colasante corner is P6, 0.3 behind King Shu 22. J Bougie in turn 6 is third, 0.6 behind Cowler. Bot Dishonored Fox exiting pits. Iker 77 is 6th, 0.2 behind King Shu 22. J Bougie in turn 10-11, Light Bulb is P3, 0.4 behind Cowler. Dat Mumbles exiting pits. Bot Bun 1857 exiting pits. Anonymous 93 is P4, 0.9 behind J Bougie. J Bougie was 4.4 faster last lap. Bot T-Boom exiting pits. J Bougie in turn 13, Arendt's turn is P3, 0.4 behind Cowler. J Bougie was 1.5 faster last lap. Iker 77 is P6, 0.6 behind King Shu 22. Iker 77 was 0.7 faster last lap. J Bougie in turn 2, Hanschen turn is third, 0.3 behind Cowler. Bot Bicorn is 9th, 0.3 behind Globally Slow. J Bougie in turn 4, Colasante corner is third, 0.4 behind Cowler. J Bougie was 0.6 faster last lap. Brenfu is 5th, 0.7 behind King Shu 22. Anonymous 93 exiting pits. Iker 77 exiting pits. Bot Utterly Artery is entering the pits is 19th. J Bougie is P3. Brenfu in turn 9, Valley of the Lefts is 5th, 0.4 behind King Shu 22. J Bougie is P3, 0.4 behind Cowler. Brenfu is 5th, 0.3 behind King Shu 22. Bot Henfadig entering the pits is 28. Bot Bicorn in turn 10-11, Light Bulb is 7th, 0.4 behind Globally Slow. Bot Utterly Artery is exiting pits. Brenfu is P4, 0.4 behind King Shu 22. Bot Bicorn in turn 13, Arendt's turn is 7th, 0.3 ahead of Bot Archer 192. Scrotal Fungus exiting pits. Bot Aussie W 2002 exiting pits. Brenfu is 4th. Bot UNC 1E Buddy entering the pits is P12. Bot Archer 192 in turn 1, Hanschen turn is P6, 0.2 behind Globally Slow. J Bougie exiting pits. Bot Henfadig exiting pits. J Bundock in turn 3, Millstone turn is P7 battling Bot Bicorn. Bot Bicorn on lap 12 is 8th, 0.1 ahead of Botoy Loner Wolf. Bot Bicorn lost P8 to Botoy Loner Wolf. J Bundock in turn 5 is 7th, 0.3 ahead of Botoy Loner Wolf. Bot UNC 1E Buddy exiting pits. Bot Mafia May exiting pits. Botoy Loner Wolf in turn 7, Valley of the Lefts is P8, 0.4 ahead of Bot Bicorn. J Bundock is 7th, 0.3 ahead of Botoy Loner Wolf. Botoy Loner Wolf in turn 10-11, Light Bulb is 8th, 0.4 behind J Bundock. J Bundock is P7, 0.3 ahead of Botoy Loner Wolf. Botway Loner Wool is 8th, 0.3 ahead of Botbicorn. Botsufi is 10th, 0.4 behind Botway Fuane. Everlasting Apex exiting pits. Botsufi is now P8. Kingchu 22 exiting pits. J Bougie is P11. J Bougie passed Kingchu 22 for 10th. Bot Murgutsu entering the pits is 16th. Botbicorn in Millstone Straight is P6, 0.9 behind J Bundak. Botsofik in turn 4, Colasante Corner is 8th, 0.8 behind Botway Fuane. Botway Loner Wolf exiting pits. Botbicorn is 6th, 0.3 behind J Bundak. J Bougie in turn 6 is P10, 0.3 behind Everlasting Apex. Botbicorn in turn 10-11, Light Bulb is P6, 0.4 behind J Bundak. Bot Murgutsu exiting pits. Botri Kaharaji exiting pits. J Bougie in turn 10-11, Light Bulb is P10, 0.4 behind Everlasting Apex. Botbicorn is 6th, 0.4 behind J Bundak. J Bougie in turn 13, Arent's turn is P10, 0.3 behind Everlasting Apex. Botway Fuane in turn 1, Hansjin turn is 5th, 0.8 behind Botbicorn. J Bougie is P7, 0.3 behind Everlasting Apex. Anonymous 93 is 9th, 0.3 behind Kingchu 22. Bot Fizzards exiting pits. Bot Archer 192 exiting pits. J Bundak exiting pits. J Bougie is P7. Bot Sufik exiting pits. Anonymous 93 in Echo Valley is 9th. J Bougie in turn 8, Valley of the Lefts is 7th, 0.3 behind Everlasting Apex. Bot Dishonored Fox exiting pits. Anonymous 93 in turn 9, Valley of the Lefts is 9th, 0.2 behind Kingchu 22. J Bougie is 7th, 0.3 behind Everlasting Apex. J Bougie was 46.7 faster last lap. Anonymous 93 is P9, 0.2 behind Kingchu 22. Anonymous 93 was 37.9 faster last lap. J Bougie is 7th, 0.2 behind Everlasting Apex. J Bougie is now P6. Anonymous 93 is 9th, 0.4 ahead of Lenview. Anonymous 93 is now 8th. J Bougie in turn 3, Millstone turn is P6. Best lap is a 135.086. 0.717 off the fastest lap. Anonymous 93 in turn 3, Millstone turn is 8th, 0.3 behind Kingchu 22. Botway Fuane exiting pits. J Bougie in turn 5 is P6, 0.4 behind Everlasting Apex. Anonymous 93 on lap 15 is P8, 0.4 behind Kingchu 22. J Bougie is P6, 0.3 behind Everlasting Apex. Bothok Bethe exiting pits. Anonymous 93 is 8th, 0.3 behind Kingchu 22. J Bougie in turn 12 is P6, 0.3 behind Everlasting Apex. Anonymous 93 in turn 12 is P8. Keller exiting pits. Everlasting Apex is P2. Best lap is a 1:34.875. 0.506 off the fastest lap. Renfu exiting pits. Everlasting Apex lost second to J Bougie. J Bougie is P2. Everlasting Apex in Millstone Straight is P3, 0.3 behind J Bougie. Globally Slow exiting pits. Bot Bicorn exiting pits. J Bougie on lap 16 is P2, 0.4 behind Cowell. Everlasting Apex in turn 6 is third, 0.4 behind J Bougie. J Bougie in turn 8, Valley of the Lefts is P2, 0.2 behind Cowler. J Bougie was 6.7 faster last lap. Everlasting Apex in turn 10-11, Light Bulb is P3, 0.3 behind J Bougie. Body Havixima exiting pits. J Bougie is second, 0.4 behind Cowler. Everlasting Apex is P3, 0.4 behind J Bougie. J Bougie is second, 0.3 ahead of Everlasting Apex. Everlasting Apex in turn 1, Hanschen turn is third, 0.3 behind J Bougie. Botken Fadig entering the pits is 28. J Bougie in turn 3, Millstone turn is second, 0.3 ahead of Everlasting Apex. Everlasting Apex in turn 4, Colasante corner is third, 0.4 behind J Bougie. Scrotal Fungus exiting pits. J Bougie in turn 5 is P2, 0.4 ahead of Everlasting Apex. Bot Aussie W2002 exiting pits. Everlasting Apex in turn 7, Valley of the Lefts is third, 0.4 behind J Bougie. J Bougie is second, 0.3 behind Cowler. Bot Hen Fadig exiting pits. Everlasting Apex in turn 10-11, Light Bulb is P3, 0.7 behind J Bougie. J Bougie in turn 12 is second, 0.4 behind Cowler. Everlasting Apex is third, 0.9 behind J Bougie. J Bougie is second, 0.4 behind Cowler. Bot Von 1857 is ninth. Bot Von 1857 is now P8. J Bougie in Millstone Straight is P2, 0.4 behind Cowler. Anonymous 93 in turn 4, Colasante corner is P5, 0.9 behind King Chu 22. J Bougie in turn 6 is P2, 0.5 behind Cowler. Lendio exiting pits. Anonymous 93 is 5th. Dat Mumbles exiting pits. J Bougie in turn 10-11, Light Bulb on lap 18 is second, 0.5 behind Cowler. Anonymous 93 in turn 10-11, Light Bulb is 5th, 0.4 behind King Chu 22. Bot Fizzards exiting pits. J Bougie in turn 13, Arendt's turn on lap 18 is second, 0.5 behind Cowler. Anonymous 93 is 5th, 0.3 behind King Shu 22. J Bougie in turn 2, Hansjin turn is second, 0.6 behind Cao. King Shu 22 in turn 2, Hansjin turn is P5, 0.6 behind Anonymous 93. Anonymous 93 was 1.1 faster last lap. Bot Dishonored Fox exiting pits. J Bougie is second. King Shu 22 is fifth, 0.7 behind Anonymous 93. J Bougie in turn 8, Valley of the Lefts is P2, 0.6 behind Cao. Bot Bon 1857 exiting pits. Bot Bicorn is 9th, 0.2 behind Globally Slow. Bot T-Bome entering the pits is P21. J Bougie is P2, 0.5 behind Cao. Bot Bicorn in turn 6 is 9th, 0.3 behind Globally Slow. J Bougie is second, 0.5 behind Cao. Bot Bicorn in turn 10-11, Light Bulb is P9 battling J Bundak. Bot T-Bome exiting pits. Iker 77 in turn 1, Hansjin turn is P6, 1.0 behind King Shu 22. Bot Rikaharuji exiting pits. Bot Bicorn in turn 13, Arendt's turn on lap 19 is P9, 0.7 ahead of J Bundak. Everlasting Apex in turn 5 is P3, 0.9 behind J Bougie. J Bougie was 1.1 faster last lap. Iker 77 in turn 5 is P6, 0.5 behind King Shu 22. Everlasting Apex in turn 9, Valley of the Lefts is P3, 0.3 behind J Bougie. Iker 77 is 6th, 0.3 behind King Shu 22. Everlasting Apex is P3, 0.2 behind J Bougie. Iker 77 on lap 20 is 6th, 0.2 behind King Shu 22. Bot Bicorn in turn 9, Valley of the Lefts on lap 20 is P9, 0.3 ahead of J Bundak. J Bundak in turn 10-11, Light Bulb is 10, 0.4 behind Bot Bicorn. Bot Bicorn in East Straight is P9, 0.3 behind Globally Slow. J Bundak in turn 13, Arendt's turn is 10, 0.4 behind Bot Bicorn. Bot Bicorn is P7, 0.4 behind Globally Slow. Anonymous 93 exiting pits. Iker 77 exiting pits. J Bundak in turn 2, Hansjin turn is P9. Best lap is a 136.102, 2.034 off the fastest lap. Bot Bicorn in Millstone Straight is P7, 0.3 behind Globally Slow. J Bundak in turn 4, Colisante Corner is 9th, 0.3 behind Bot Archer 192. Bot Bicorn in turn 6 is P7, 0.4 behind Globally Slow. J Bundak in turn 8, Valley of the Lefts is 9th, 0.4 behind Bot Archer 192. Botbicorn in turn 10-11, light bulb is P7, 0.3 behind globally slow. J Bundock is 9th. Botbicorn in turn 13, Arendt's turn on lap 21 is 7th, 0.2 behind globally slow. Bot Archer 192 is P8, 0.4 ahead of J Bundock. Bot Archer 192 was 1.2 faster last lap. Botbicorn in turn 1, Hanston turn is P7, 0.4 behind globally slow. Bot Otterly Artery is exiting pits. Scrotal Fungus entering the pits is P26. Bot Archer 192 in turn 3, Millstone turn is 8, 0.4 ahead of J Bundock. Botbicorn in turn 4, Polisante corner is P7, 0.3 behind globally slow. Bot Fizzards entering the pits is 29th. Bot Archer 192 in turn 5 is 8th, 0.5 behind Botbicorn. Botbicorn on lap 22 is P7, 0.4 behind globally slow. Bot UNC 1E Buddy exiting pits. Bot Archer 192 in turn 10-11, light bulb is P8, 0.4 ahead of J Bundock. Bot Archer 192 was 0.5 faster last lap. Bot Hawkbathe exiting pits. Scrotal Fungus exiting pits. King Chu 22 is P3. Bot Aussie W2002 exiting pits. Bot Henfadig exiting pits. Bot Fizzards exiting pits. Botbicorn is P7. King Chu 22 in turn 4, Polisante corner is P3 battling Everlasting Apex. J Bougie exiting pits. King Chu 22 passed Everlasting Apex for second. Everlasting Apex in turn 5 is P3, 0.4 behind King Chu 22. King Chu 22 was 4.7 faster last lap. Globally slow in turn 3, Millstone turn is 6th, 0.1 ahead of Botbicorn. Globally slow lost 6th to Botbicorn. Everlasting Apex on lap 23 is P3, 0.7 behind King Chu 22. Botbicorn in turn 5 is P6. Best lap is a 135.354, 1.286 off the fastest lap. Bot Mafia Mai exiting pits. J Bundock in turn 7, Valley of the Lefts is 7th, 0.7 behind Botbicorn. Botbicorn on lap 23 is 6th, 0.3 behind J Bougie. Bot Dishonored Fox exiting pits. J Bundock is 7th, 0.4 behind Botbicorn. Everlasting Apex in turn 3, Millstone turn is 3rd, 0.3 behind King Chu 22. King Chu 22 was 2.7 faster last lap. Botbicorn is P6, 0.3 ahead of J Bundock. Everlasting Apex is P3. Botbicorn in turn 3, Millstone turn is P6, 0.3 behind J Bougie. Everlasting Apex in turn 8, Valley of the Lefts is P3, 0.3 behind King Chu 22. Botbicorn in Echo Valley is 6th, 0.3 behind J Bougie. Botbicorn was 39.0 faster last lap. Everlasting Apex is 3rd, 0.3 behind King Chu 22. Botbicorn in turn 9, Valley of the Lefts is P6, 0.4 behind J Bougie. Everlasting Apex is P3, 0.9 behind Kingshu 22. Botbicorn is P5, 0.3 behind Jbougie. Botbicorn is now 5th. Jbundak in turn 13, Arendt's turn is P7, 0.3 behind Botbicorn. Botbicorn is P6, 0.3 behind Jbougie. Botbicorn is now P4. Jbundak is P5, 0.4 behind Botbicorn. Kingshu 22 exiting pits. Botbrugutsu exiting pits. Botbicorn is P4. Everlasting Apex exiting pits. Botbicorn lost 4th to Jbundak. Jbundak in turn 4, Colasante corner is P4, 0.2 ahead of Botbicorn. Botbicorn in turn 5 is 5th, 0.6 behind Jbundak. Botboiloner Wolf exiting pits. Jbundak in turn 8, Valley of the Lefts is P4. Best lap is a 135.923, 1.855 off the fastest lap. Botbicorn in turn 10-11, Light Bulb is 5th, 0.3 behind Jbundak. Jbundak is 4th, 0.3 ahead of Botbicorn. Botbicorn in turn 12 is 5th, 0.3 behind Jbundak. Bot Archer 192 is P7, 0.3 behind Globally Slow. Jbundak on lap 26 is P5, 0.2 behind Botbicorn. Bot Archer 192 in turn 2, Kanschan turn is 7th. Best lap is a 136.116, 2.048 off the fastest lap. Botri Kaharuji exiting pits. Jbundak is P5. Globally Slow in turn 4, Colasante corner is P6, 0.4 ahead of Bot Archer 192. Jbundak in turn 6 is 5th, 0.4 ahead of Globally Slow. Globally Slow in turn 8, Valley of the Lefts is P6, 0.2 ahead of Bot Archer 192. Jbundak in turn 10-11, Light Bulb is P5, 0.3 ahead of Globally Slow. Globally Slow was 1.3 faster last lap. Globally Slow is P6, 0.3 behind Jbundak. Globally Slow was 1.3 faster last lap. Jbundak in turn 12 is P6, 0.1 behind Globally Slow. Bot Weifuane is 7th, 0.4 behind Jbundak. Bot Weifuane was 1.4 faster last lap. Bot Archer 192 entering the pits is 9th. Bot Weifuane is now P6. Anonymous 93 is 7th. Bot Weifuane in turn 3, Millstone turn is P6, 0.5 behind Globally Slow. Anonymous 93 in Millstone straight is 7th, 0.4 behind Bot Weifuane. Bot Weifuane in Echo Valley is 6th, 0.3 behind Globally Slow. Jbundak exiting pits. Anonymous 93 in turn 6 is P7, 0.5 behind Bot Weifuane. Bot Archer 192 exiting pits. Bot Weifuane in turn 8, Valley of the Lefts is P6, 0.3 behind Globally Slow. Bot Sufik exiting pits. Anonymous 93 is P7. Dat Mumbles exiting pits. Lenvio exiting pits. Bot von 1857 in turn 8, Valley of the Lefts is P11, 0.6 behind Everlasting Apex. Anonymous 93 in turn 12 is P7, 1.0 behind Bot Weifuane. Bot von 1857 is P11, 0.3 behind Everlasting Apex. Bot Weifuane in turn 1, Hansjin turn is P6, 0.8 ahead of Anonymous 93. Anonymous 93 in turn 3, Millstone turn is P7. Best lap is a 134.299. 0.264 off the fastest lap. Bot Weifuane in turn 4, Colasante corner is P6, 0.4 behind Globally Slow. Anonymous 93 is P7, 0.4 behind Bot Weifuane. Bot Weifuane is P6, 0.3 behind Globally Slow. Anonymous 93 in turn 9, Valley of the Lefts is 7th, 0.5 behind Bot Weifuane. Bot von 1857 is 11th. Best lap is a 134.990, 0.955 off the fastest lap. Anonymous 93 on lap 28 is 7th, 0.2 behind Bot Weifuane. Bot von 1857 in turn 10-11, Light Bulb is P11. Bot Akvathi in Echo Valley is 17th, 0.3 behind Bot UNC1 eBuddy. Bot von 1857 is P11, 0.3 behind Everlasting Apex. Iker 77 is 8th, 0.9 behind Kingshu 22. Bot von 1857 is P10, 0.3 behind Everlasting Apex. Iker 77 in Millstone Straight is 8th. Best lap is a 134.758, 0.748 off the fastest lap. Bot Weifuane exiting pits. Bot Bicorn in turn 10-11, Light Bulb is P4, 0.7 behind J Bougie. Iker 77 is P8, 0.2 behind Kingshu 22. Iker 77 was 2.7 faster last lap. Bot Bicorn in turn 13, Arendt's turn is P4, 0.4 behind J Bougie. Iker 77 in turn 10-11, Light Bulb is P8. Bot Bicorn in turn 2, Hansjin turn is 4th, 0.5 behind J Bougie. Iker 77 in turn 13, Arendt's turn is 8th, 0.3 behind Kingshu 22. The leader has just finished the race. Kelwer finished first. Bot Oiloner rule. J Bundak. Bot Otterly Arterias. Bot Weifuane. Bot Archer 192. Bot UNC1 eBuddy. Bot Akvathi. Brenfa finished P2. Bot Sophie. Dat Mumbles. Lendiu. Bot Dishonored Fox. Bot Aussie W 2002. Bot Fizzards. J Wuji finished P3. Bot Ehavixima. Scrotal Fungus. Bot Bicorn finished 4th. Globally Slow finished 5th. Anonymous 93 finished 6th. Bot T-Bone. Bot Henfatic. Bot Rikaharaji. King Chu 22 finished 7th. Iker 77 finished 8th. Everlasting Apex finished 9th. Bot Von 1857 finished 10th. Bot Mafia Mai. Bot Murgutsu.